Hello everybody. How is everybody today? Alright, we're playing a little Hexcells Infinite. And I want to make sure we're good there. Alright. So we're going to play today's puzzle. So we're going to use today's date, July 3rd. And I'm playing with Augie, and he's chasing the ball around. So, alright. Okay, let me get my chat on in case anybody wants to talk. Okay. That's how we go right there. Okay, so let's take a look at the puzzle. So we got a couple of starting points, I think. So here's one of them. We're going to just say these are zeros or black or whatever. And also we're going to delete that one so we know that that's not out there anymore. And then we're going to do this one right here, which means that they're not next to each other, directly next to each other. So we're going to, it cannot be this one or this one. Alrighty. So those are the two easy ones. And because this one says they are right directly next to each other, it cannot be this guy right here, because then there would have to be a secondary one right next to it, and this one's already black, so nope, that's a no. And this 2 represents one of these two because it's already got a 1 there, so we're stuck on this, and I'm looking down this way and I don't see anything that would pop out. So this one says they're next to each other, so that would mean that this one cannot be if this one is, for these two, and this one cannot be if this one is. So we just got to keep that in mind as we're going. Okay, we can turn this off because I don't see anything on that diagonal. This 2, we just took care of these 2. This is a 4, so 4 of these 5, and we already have one of them, and there's no restrictions to whether they're supposed to be next to each other. Alright, let's take a look here. This 2 is surrounded by squares. We can't have that. This 3 coming down this way. It could be any one of these, so that's alright. We're going to turn that off. 7, that's a big one. 8, that's a big one. 5, that's a big one. These 3, these 2, one of these 3 for the 1. So basically one of these 2 has to be, which will make 2 of these 3. Alright. So let's take a look at these down this way. So 2 of these 3 are, and 3 of these 4 are. So if these 2 are, then this or this would have to be 1, and then this would have to be not 1, unless these are both 1. And these 3. Wow, this one's a toughie. Let's take a look at this one again. So one of these 3 has to be. So that's 2 of the 3. Let me do this. Yeah, it could be any one of these, so that's not a big help. So these 2 could be, and one of these could be. It's not the one we're looking for. This is a little tough. So if this is 1, this one would not be 1. But if this is 1, then this 2, these 2 would be off. Hi, buddy. And then one of these 2 would have to be on. Okay, 2 of these. So this one is on, this one's off. These would be off. One of these would have to be on. If this one is off, then it would either have to be this one would be on, or this one would be on, or both of these would be on. Oh, okay, so this makes sense now. This 2 means that there's 2 together, and we know either this one is on or this one is on, or no, it can't be both. So one or the other have to be on. So this one or the other has to be on. So this one has to be on too. One of these is off. So if this one is on, then this one is on, and everything else here is off. Or if this one is on, and everything else is off. So we know that this is off, this is off, this is off, this is off, and this is off. So it's either these 2 or these 2. Alright, so let's start back up here at the start. So here's a 2. So that means this one is on and this one is on. This 1 is satisfied by this one, so these 3 are off. And let's see. Okay, we can't do anything here. 4 out of these 5 are going to be on, which it could be these 2 and these 2, and then have these 2 on. If this one is on, then one of these 2 is on. And then this would have to be on as well. If this one is off, these 2 would have to be on and this is off. So that doesn't help us deduce anything. Alright, moving back up. We have a 2. Oh, here's a 2. So we have this is off, and then this 4, these 3 would be on. And then we have this 2 here, so these 2 would be off. And then we have this 2, which means these 2 would be off. And this 3, these 2 would have to be on. And for this 2 and this 2, it's either going to be a shared, or it's going to be here and here. So we have to just remember that. This 2, we're going to go back up here. This 2 are these 2, so this one's off, this one is on, this 1 is here, so we don't need this one. Here's 1, 2, 3 for this guy here, and now we can turn this off, turn this back on, and it would be 1, 2, 3. So everything else is off here. That one, and that one. So this 2, these 2 are on. This one would be off, and this one would have to be on. And then this 2 here turns these off, and this 3 is done. Let's go back to this 2 real quick, just to make sure. Yep, we're still waiting for something down here to open up. Back up here to this 2, we have 2 here. We right click this one and make it black. And this 2 here, we're going to right click these 2 and to make those off. And then we have a 3, so these have to be left clicked on, and these 2 would be off off. And we have 3. Oh, let's take a look at this. Okay, so this 3 means there's, in this hexagon, 3 of them are going to be turned on, not including this one. So it should be 1, 2, and to satisfy this little 3 here, one of these 2 has to be on. So that would be the third one. These 2 will be off. And that takes care of that. So we're going to turn this off because that's not any help for right now. This 2 here, so one of these 3. Okay, so that's interesting, one of those 3. So if we go down here and we count the open squares, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of this 8, 7 are going to be turned on, and one of them is going to be turned off. And we've already determined that one of these 2 is going to be off because of this 2. So that means one of these 2. So everybody else in this row is going to be on. So this one's on, this, and this is on. We're just waiting for this. And because one of these 2 are on, this one has to be off. And if it's a 3, that would make this a black. If it's a 4 or 5, then we don't know. So it's either going to be a 3, 4, or 5. So this one we're going to right click? Yeah, right click. So it's a 4. So this one could be, or this one could be, with this 4. One of these 2 are turned on. We have, because of this is a 2 here, one of these 2, and one of these 2. And because of the 1, it's going to be either oh wait, hang on. Since this is a 1, one of these 2. So this has to be off, and this one has to be off. Because it has to be, hang on, if it's this one, yes. Okay, so this one has to be, so this one already counts toward this 2. So we would have to say only one of these, but so this one is off, and this one is off. And with this 3, we already know this one's going to be on. And this one is going to be, because of this 2, this one's going to be off. And this one says there's going to be 1 here. And these 2 are going to be off because we've already got our 2. And this one is going to be on for this 3. And let's see. We're still waiting for this 2 on here. And we're waiting for this one here. So this one, we don't know. Oh, no, we do know. Here's a 4. This one has to be on. This one has to be off. That would satisfy that. This 3 gets taken care of automatically, so this is a right click off. And we have a 2, so these 2 are off. And this 3 here, this one is on, and this one is on. And let's move over here. This 3 has to be, these 2 have to be turned on. And that takes care of the easy one. So let's see what we got up here. So this is taken care of. We can remove that. This one we still don't know because the 4 could be here or here. If it's here, then it's both of these. Let's see. It can only be one of these 2. So this one has to be on. This one has to be on because of this 3. So if we had more, if both of these were turned on, then this would be a 3 as well. So we're going to turn this. This one has to be on. This one has to be off. Off. On. Off. Okay, back up to here. So one of these two has to be on, so this one has to be off. So this one is off, and one of these two is going to remain on. We'll go back down here. This is a 3, so that means these two are both on, and this 2, this one would be off. And this one would be off. So it's going to be one of these two and one of these two. So that's 2 of them. And let's see. That takes care of this 2. Now we're going to slide on down here. So really we only have a few choices. So this 3 will start up here. This 3, 2 of these 3, no help. There's no diagonal that run down this way, so we're not, this is probably going to be one of our last 3. We already determined that it's either going to be this one and this one, or they're going to share this one. These two 2s will share this one. And that'll be off and that'll be off. We don't know yet. We're going to roll around here. So this 3 here is split apart. So there's going to be, it's going to be 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Or 1 here, skip 1, 1 here, and 1 here. So 2 of these 3 are going to be on. And this one has to be on. In both of those scenarios, this one will be on. And now we can click on this 6 and let's take a look. So we need 3 more of these. 3 more of these, because we already have 1, 2, 3. So one of them is going to be here. 2 and 3. So out of these 5, 2 out of these 5 will be on, and 1 of these. So we don't know yet, so we're going to turn this off, and then we're going to click this one on, and we already determined that 2 of these 5 will be on, so that's 2, 3, 4. We know one of these is 5, so one of these is going to be on. So out of these 5 here, 2. 1 of these is going to be on, and 1 of these is going to be on. And I think this one's going to be off. I think. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. We can come back to that in a minute. We're going to scroll around here. We already took care of the 3. The 4 is locked. Come down here. So one of these 2. Oh, this 3. This 3 has to be on here. This has to be off. And these are split apart. This 2. So it cannot be here because these 2 can't be next to each other. So this is going to be a black square. And this is going to be an on. And this 4 will make this one go on. Whew. Okay, moving on. 4, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so one of these we already determined, and one of these we already determined. One of these 2. Oh yeah. That was this thing we were talking about. So that one could be on, based on this. So if these are both on, out of these 5, yeah, we're not there yet. So climbing back up this row, we got nothing. We got 8 coming down this way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they're all turned on, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we only need to get rid of 1 of these. Out of these 4, so these 3 plus this 1, 3 of the 4 are going to be turned on. Let's move over 1 square here. And we've determined that 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So 2 of these 7 will be turned on. So one of these or one of these. Alright. Alright. We may have to tackle these two 6s first. Okay, so we've already determined that 4 out of these 5 have to be turned on, which this one could be off. And that would mean everything else is on. And then we would have to get down to this over here. So this one would be off. We said 4 out of these, 2 out of these 4. So 2 out of these 4 would have to be on if this is off. 2 out of these 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that makes sense. If this is on, which I would think it is, just based on math, but you're not supposed to use math. This might be a better way to do it, because we know that 4 out of these 5, so at most one of these two has to be, and one of these two has to be. So if we look at it this way, one of these two has to be, maybe both. That's the problem. Maybe both of these could be. Yeah, it could be both, which would really give us a little bit of heartache, because then, one of these 3 has to be, at least one of these 3 has to be, because he can't have 3 in a row because they're split apart. Maybe I should be looking down here. So one of these 3 has to be. And we determined at least one of these has to be. So at least one of these and at least one of these. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need one more. Maybe do it this way. One of these and one of these. That would be... And if these 3 were off, that one would be off as well. No, that one could be on. One of these and one of these. At least one of these and at least one of... Oh no, only one of these. And at least one of these. Turn that off. Let's take a look at the 5 as well. Oh, yeah, these 2 could be on and then everything else could be off. It doesn't necessarily mean either one of these are on, because you could do 1, skip, 1, 1, or 1, 2, skip 1. Alright, so that 5 is no help on that 6. How about this 6? We already know that one of these could be, and one of these has to be. So that would be 5 or 6. If it's 6, we're good. Then these 3 are off. This one is off. And then that would mean this one is on, and this one would be off, and this one would be on. Because these have to be shared or on the sides. Alright. And we've already determined that five. So one of these could be on. One of these has to be on. If it's this one, then only one of these three. And two of these. If it's this one will be off. I'm missing something somewhere. So let's start over. Let's start up here. Just starting with the numbers. So we don't know. There's nothing, nothing, nothing. This 2 could be one of these two, and that seems right. This one, this 2 here has to be on. And the other one will be off, so we can't figure that out. This 8, we already know that 3 out of these 4 have to be off. That has to be it. One of these has to be... Oh. Yeah, I guess it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one could be off. Most extreme example would be pick the ones closest to each other. And if that is the case, then only one of these 3 would be, because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of these would be off. This one would have to be on. This one would have to be on. We already determined that. If these 2 are on, that would tell us, oh shoot, I just clicked it on accident, and I think it was this one. Crapola. I left clicked, and it was a mistake, so this would be a right click. Nope, I got it wrong. This one. There we go, so this one is right. Sorry folks. That happens. So there's our 4 out of 5. I'm sorry. Alright, let's take care of this 2 first. So we said the outside ones or the shared one. That's a 2, so this one would be off. Dang it. Alright, we'll turn this 5 off. So we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This would be on, this would be on. That 8 goes away. This 2, these 2 go away. This one has to be on. Let's see, this 5. Let's see what we got here. So if we did this, we would do 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to turn that off for a sec. Out of this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If it's here, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes more logical sense, but again, we just got a few extra right here. You're filthy, dog. What happened? Okay. One, two, three. If these are on, these would have to be off. This would have to be on, and one of these would have to be on. These would have to be, one of these would have to be on. I think that's it right there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these two now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these two has to be on. So that would be the 6. These two would be off. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of these. So either this one or one of these two. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one of these two. Okay. And then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which we already knew. This 4 is here. This 2 is here and here. These 3 cannot be, so this one has to be. And that takes care of that 6 and that 6. So these 6s go away. And now do we have our 5 running down here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes, these are off. And that should help us. So these two are on, this one is off, these two are off. I think we're going to breeze right through here. At this point, we can turn this off. 4, 1, 2, 3. These are 3 separated. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there. 3. And now we have 6 left. One of the 6, excuse me, one of the 6 is going to go here. The other one of the 6, so there's 2 of the 6. So that would be 1, 2. We don't know here, these 4. These, 2 of these, so there's 2 more. So 2, 3, 4, so we need 2 more. So one of these, or no, one of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have, oh, these 2 have to be on, these 2, because of this. 1, 2, that one's off. That one's off, these are on, and we're good. So 2 of these 3 have to be these remaining 2. So that means everything else is off. Off, 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 and we're home free. This one has to be on because of that 2 in the middle. That one. This one is off here and on here. And sorry about that misclick, it happens. And then I guessed which one was a misclick, and it wasn't the right one. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much. Like and subscribe, as they say. And everybody say hello to Augie-Doggie. He just stopped in his tracks. All right, have a good one.